Hi, everyone. Today we are going to explore a little bit of nature and throw in some maker space so that we can use our hands and our imaginations to explore different things with what we have around the house. And what we are going to explore today is the idea of motion, how things move and why things move. So I can stand still without moving, or I could use my muscles to move my arms, or maybe someone can come along and push me and force me to move. So we're going to look at some different things you have around the house, and we are going to explore how we can move them. The first thing we're going to look at is some water droplets. And in order to see my water droplets a little better, I have turned them different colors. So I'm going to show you a blue water droplet. So I dyed my water blue, and I'm going to use my straw to pick up a droplet and place it on my tray. Now, if you can see my blue water droplet, is it moving? No, there is no force acting on my water droplet. So I'm going to make it move. And the first thing I'm going to use to make it move is my air. I'm going to blow on it to make my water droplet move. So I'm going to use a straw. And I'm going to blow my air on the water droplet, and let's see if I can make it move. Yep, I can move it all across the table. What else can I use to make my water droplet move? I'm going to give myself another big water droplet. And other than using my air, I can use my muscles. I can use my fingers and make my water droplet move. And it could move across the tray. I can also use something called gravity, something that's pulling us to the ground. Like when you drop something, it goes to the ground. So if I give myself one more big water droplet, I can use gravity to move it by creating a ramp. If I tilt up my tray, boom, gravity pulled my water droplet all the way down. So you can explore moving your water droplet with your straw and turn it into a game. You can have water droplet races with your sisters and brothers at home. So to do that, I would have one person be a big blue water droplet. And then maybe my brother or sister wants to be a red water droplet. So just by putting these on a table or on a flat tray, you can have some races. If each one of you had a straw, let's see who could get their water droplet to the end of the line first. That time, red won. So it's a cool game you can play with creating force by blowing your water droplet. You can also explore the idea of using different colors and gravity, creating your ramp, and seeing what kind of cool artwork you can make with that. So that's just using water droplets. We can also use something different to create our different motions. And what we'll try using is our straw again, but this time I'm going to use paint on paper. And I'm going to see if I can move the paint around with my straw. Do you think I could do that? Do you think my breath is strong enough to move the paint? So I'm going to give myself a little dot of green paint here. And let's see if I can force that paint to move around with my straw. I did. By blowing on my paint, I was able to move it around as well. If I tried to use gravity for my paint, there isn't much to be able to drip it off. But let's use our muscles and move the paint around too. Create some force. So for this, I'm going to put my piece of paper in a tray, and I'm going to use a marble. And this marble is going to be part of my force that's going to move around my paint. So I'm going to add new paint to my tray. I'm going to add a dot of black and a dot of white. And right now, my paint isn't moving, but let's use our muscles. I'm going to put the marble right into my paint, and it's still not moving. How can I use my muscles to make that marble move? I'm simply gonna move the pan with my hand, and the marble goes through the paint, moves around, and makes my paint move for me. I can see if I tilt it one way where the marble goes, if I tilt it another way, and use those ramps or help gravity move your marble through your paint and create some beautiful artwork. Now my marble is made of glass. It's pretty heavy. But if I use something lighter, like a pom-pom, is that gonna have enough force to move my paint around? Let's try. I'm gonna take my marble out, put in my pom-pom, and my pom-pom's a little too light to drag through the paint. So something that's heavier has more power, more force. It'll move through my paint. Then I have a ping pong. My ping pong is bigger, but it's filled with air. So my marble is still heavier. So let's see if my ping pong has enough force to move my paint around. No, a little too light. It keeps getting stuck in the paint. So you want to make sure you have something heavy to be able to move your paint around and create your artwork, okay? But if you are afraid about getting a little too messy, you can use any bin to create your artwork. We can use a closed Tupperware, like from my Chinese food. I cut out a piece of paper that fits along the bottom. And again, I'm just gonna squirt in some paint. I'm gonna add my blue and I'm gonna add my white. And then I could put my marble inside. It's not gonna move until I create that force. So this time I can create a little bit of a tornado artwork and really go crazy. Use my muscles to move, roll it around, and create some force and some movement. And I'm really shaking it up. Whoa, that was a lot of motion. And I was able to create a beautiful marble painting with my muscles to force it around the paint. Pretty awesome, right? So you guys can explore moving paint and water with your air, with the straw, with your muscles, and then even using gravity, just tilting to see where that marble and that water are going to flow. What you can also create at home using some recyclable materials that you may have is your very own car. So I'm going to show you how to make your own makerspace car with some recyclables that you have at home. And we can do the same thing with the car. Can I move it using my breath? Sure can. Can I move it using my muscles? By giving it a push? I sure can. And by using gravity or creating a ramp, I can move my car as well. It's not going to move if I don't push it. But if I create gravity with my ramp, my car will move too. So I'm going to show you guys how to make your own car at home, again, using the recyclables we have available. So in order to make your car, you are going to need a hot glue gun. Let me plug that in. I forgot. Excuse me. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm back. So what you guys are going to need is a piece of construction paper or cardboard, and that's going to be the base of your car. You can decorate it if you want, make it look awesome. What you're also going to need are bottle caps. Now you need bottle caps for each wheel. Let's see how many wheels there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 4 bottle caps. And I need them to be the same, all matching, so they're all the same size. You're also going to need a straw and a stick, and that's it, just your hot glue gun. So let me show you how you're going to make that. The first thing you're going to want to do is to cut your straw so it matches how wide your base is. So I'm going to cut my straw in 2 pieces that match the 2 sides of my base. And what that's going to be is what holds our wheels and our axle in place. So then I have to make sure that my stick fits inside my straw so that it's able to move. And I'm going to cut my stick so that it's longer than the straw. And I need 2 of those to go through my 2 axles. So again, you might need help from your parents to be able to cut, and definitely with your hot glue gun. You can use regular glue, but I know you're going to want to play with these pretty quick, so the hot glue gun dries really fast. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 straw pieces, and I have to glue them down on each side of my cardboard. So I don't know if my hot glue gun is ready just yet, but we'll give it a whirl. Yep. Okay, so I glued my 2 straw pieces down onto my cardboard. Now I have to create my wheels. And in order to do that, I'm going to use my 2 sticks and my 2 of my bottle caps. And I'm going to put a stick inside each bottle cap by putting a little glue and then sticking the stick on top. Okay, I'm creating my wheel and my axle, which help things to move. So this part's a little tricky because you got to make sure that it's standing up straight and holds your glue. So we'll let our glue dry for just a moment here. So once I have my axles glued onto my wheels down here, and it takes quite a bit of glue, so this is where having your hot glue gun handy and hot would really help out. Okay, so I want it to stick like that. Then I get to put it all together. Once I have my axles glued on, then I get to put them on my base. I'm going to slip my dowels, my sticks, right through the axle of my car. Uh-oh. And then glue those last 2 wheels on top. So again, I'll use my hot glue gun with help of my parents and my older brothers and sisters. Get some more glue in there and add my 2 last wheels. So I'll have to let this dry for just a moment, but when it dries, my car will be able to move with all the different forces we just explored. The idea of blowing on the car. Let me find where my other car just rolled off to for your example. Sorry about that. Things are flying over here today. So again, we can use our breath. We can use our muscles by pushing something. Or the fun part is using gravity by creating that ramp and exploring how fast things move if my ramp is low, or how fast things move when my ramp is high. And then after your car is dry and built, you can add more to it. We saw that the heavier marble moves quicker, has more motion or force. So if I add more weight to the car I made by adding some Legos, is that going to make it move differently? So it'll be a fun thing for you guys to be able to explore. Motion, making things move. But we've also, my pre-K friends and I, have explored the idea that things want to move, but if I move super quick, sometimes things will stay exactly where they are. So my pre-K friends and I did this fun activity where we used a strip of paper, and in school we used a pile of poker chips, but we can use anything we want that we have at the house. And we know that if that poker chip is sitting right there, it's not going to move until I force it. Maybe I can blow it. Not strong enough. Maybe I can use my muscles and move it. But it's not going to move until I force it to. So we used our strip of paper, and we saw that if we put our stack on our strip of paper and used our muscles, I can move the poker chips. But if I move really fast, I can pull the paper out and the poker chips stayed exactly where they are. So we explored the idea that a slow pull will move it, a fast pull keeps it exactly where they are. And so you could explore this idea with different pieces you might have at home. I have some wooden stars. I'm going to use my gentle makerspace hands to make a nice stack here. I used some tiles. We explored and built with some tiles. So I'm going to make a really big tower. Now, do you think my force is fast enough to move this paper without knocking down the tower? Do you think I could do it? Thumbs up if you think I could do it. All right, let's see. The tower is nice and tall. The paper's underneath. Let's see. Ta-da! I can use my force to pull the paper, but these towers want to stay exactly where they are. So look around your house, see what kind of awesome things. All you need is a strip of paper and something you can tower on the other side, something nice and heavy. So now Miss Beth is going to go a little crazy. Let's see if I can make a super crazy tall one. You think I could do it? You think I can move it without knocking down my tower? Let me get my muscles ready. Let's see. Ta-da! So it's almost like magic, right? So some cool things you guys can explore with motion. Put some water droplets on your tray. See if you can move them with your straw. Make it a race. Use your marbles and create some cool artwork by moving them around in your paint. And again, for your car, all you need is cardboard, straws, bottle tops, and a stick to glue them in between, and you'll have all your own fun ways to explore motion at home. I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful day. I miss you so much. Go have some fun, use your hands, use your imagination. Bye-bye.